Yo, what's up guys? Today I'm going to be coaching a Diamond Jayce mid player. He's typically a jungle main, and I did coach him on jungle yesterday, but he wanted some Jayce mid coaching today. If you guys didn't know, I've been rank 1 Jayce. I pretty much one-trick Jayce to challenger in mid lane, so I definitely understand this champion quite well. We go through his gameplay, then I go through the combos with him, and then I go through the notes of just kind of some important things to note at the end of the session. So let me know what you think about a bit of the longer sessions like I have here being uploaded. And then if you guys are interested in coaching, it's just 15 bucks for an hour of coaching. Just DM me on Discord. The link to my Discord server is in the description below. The link to my Twitter is also below. If you want to just DM me on Twitter, that works perfectly fine too. Leave a comment, do whatever you want, and I hope you guys enjoy. See you guys later. Going into it initially. Again, we'll look at the lane matchup. So for mid lane Jayce, I know how every matchup works. I've played like 400 games of this. So for Brand, already, I like that you're taking Electrocute, but do you take Electrocute every game or do you switch?
Every time, every single time.
I wouldn't recommend. So for me, when they're tankier, I think Conquer is going to be better. But when you're into a squishy laner, that's when you want Electrocute. So this game, Electrocute is good because they have Nami, they have a lot of squishy champions. So here is Electrocute is good. And then what were your other runes? Do you ever show that? I don't think you do, but do you remember what your runes are?
I think I got the Bone Play and then I forgot, yeah.
Bone Plating, do you have Demolish?
No, I don't.
You should be taking Demolish on Jayce for sure.
Okay, so what about the lane priority? So which lane is stronger, you think?
For Brand or Jayce?
For the ADC side?
Okay, so for ADC, let's look at it. So we have Jhin Lulu versus Ezreal and Nami. So in terms of support, Nami has higher range and healing, which is going to be better in lane than Lulu. But Jhin has better wave clear and higher damage earlier on. So it's pretty close. Like either lane can win this for sure. So we can't really be too sure about what will happen there. And then is that Tryndamere or is that Garen in top lane?
I think it's a Tryndamere.
Okay, so we have Tryndamere versus Jax. Jax is pretty good against auto-attacking champions, so I'm guessing that the Jax will be winning this. And then jungle, what champion is that in the jungle on your team? Master Yi, or who's that?
I have no idea. That's an Aatrox, right? Is it? I think so.
That's the enemy team, but who's your jungler?
My side is like Master Yi.
Okay, so Master Yi versus Aatrox is probably going to be better for Aatrox overall. So in general, most of your lanes are losing or like 50-50. So you shouldn't be switching until you actually get out of base, because if you switch, you get movement speed if you switch the forms. So if you switch the forms, you can run faster. I would also go ward the red side. I would ward like his Raptors here instead of going where you go, because it's going to be a more valuable ward most of the time. So
okay.
But here I like that you're trying to like do the cheese on him. Onto Brand, it usually can work decently well because he doesn't have stun level 1. This is good. Just looking for it. But you need to be you're missing the farm on the minion. Yeah, you can't miss that minion, you know? It's more valuable to just not miss the minion. Like this is too aggressive. You're trading in minions here and you're just losing health. This is not going to work out. You only want to do that when you're not going to take a ton of minion damage. And then don't waste your first ability on the minions like that either, because Jayce has very low mana early on in the game, so you do not want to be doing it like this. What you want to do instead in this matchup, which I'm going to go back for, into most ranged mages early on in the game, what you want to do, level 1, you just want to hit this wave as soon as it comes up. So you see here, as soon as the wave is here, you should already be hitting the wave, because you want level 2 right away so that you get your third ability, and then you can poke him because he won't have cleared the wave yet. You know what I mean? So you can just get a really free QE on him before he's even able to get level 2, and you have the level advantage. So into most range matchups, you want to play like that. The only exceptions are really, really weak early game, like Veigar. Into Veigar, you don't want to do that. You'd rather just let him go for last hits and then punish his last hits.
But I saw your video on Lux. You just go in at the level 1 with your cheese combo.
Yeah, that is wrong. So I used to do this, but the more I played it, I learned that's not a good thing. So you don't want to be doing that against stuff like Lux, because into Lux, she's going to root you, and it's not going to work out. It worked out for me before because I would play into like worse players, but as I got higher in rank, I learned that that's not good. Another problem here, you should not take your W second into range matchups. Into range matchups, you want your E most of the time because they're not going to be able to get hit by many auto attacks with your W. So when they're a melee champion, that's when you can take W second, but you take E second whenever you're into champions like Brand or other range champions. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool, cool. This is a good poke, good job.
Cool.
And then here you could have jumped onto the minion here. So if you go onto your melee form, you can jump onto the minion and then it'll splash onto the Brand. You know what I mean? So you can look for that more often to poke them down. Here you could have poked him here, but it's good that you eventually do it. But you didn't use your E. You should have used your E when you poke him, you know? So. But we don't know where their jungler is and we don't have any wards, so this is really dangerous. But now we see their jungler top, so. Are we going Hullbreaker first? Got it. Okay, that's not a bad choice. We can go Hullbreaker here, but. I think Brand just flashed. Because I think your Master Yi went on him, so I think Brand didn't flash here. And since Brand is still here, we need to pressure him really hard. But he can't back. So we should be trying to poke him as hard as possible so that he's not allowed to back. And then we freeze the lane here. So you should just freeze this lane. But instead you shove it. So you want to freeze it because you know he's really low, so he's going to lose a lot of gold here if you just freeze it instead of shoving it like you do.
Okay. But he is going back, so
yeah,
that's why I push.
But he'll get back in time to get most of the minions, and you don't have Demolish, so you're not... Oh, you do have Demolish, good. But either way, it would be more valuable to simply just freeze on him because he would lose a lot of gold in that case.
Okay.
And you also don't know where their jungler is, so you're much more easy to get ganked if you are going for the turret instead of freezing like that. You know what I mean? And you didn't need to flash here also. You could just use the movement speed from your third ability in range form. So the flash was, you could have saved flash for later if he runs away, and then you chase him with flash after.
Okay.
Here you're probably just going to have to back up or just go really the long way. But you want to clear the wave as fast as possible now so that you can back up. So you don't want to be doing anything like this. You just want to go to the mid lane and you just want to get the wave cleared so that you can back because you are low health, so you want to leave as soon as possible.
Okay.
I believe we're pretty close to Hullbreaker now, so I think it's, where are we, 500 gold away, or are we about to get it? Either way, once we get Hullbreaker, we definitely want to back for it. Okay, so I think we need like 500 more gold for it or something. Hullbreaker is very, very good for, actually you're 25 or you're 1,000 gold away, but still.
But it's getting nerfed.
Yeah. It is getting nerfed, but it's still gonna be fine on Jayce, and you can still go it. But I would recommend going Youmu's a lot of games too, especially into squishy comps like this. Like this is not a comp where you want to go Hullbreaker because they're really squishy. When you're into more tankier comps or comps where you don't have any split pushing champions, that's when you want to go it. So you see, you have a Tryndamere, he's good at split pushing, right? So you're just wasting it because you're two split pushing champs. You typically would want to go Hullbreaker when you're the only split pushing champ on your team. You know what I mean? So.
Got it. I get it. Yeah.
Or when you just want to be tanky because it makes you quite tanky. So if they have a lot of bruisers that you want to 1v1, then you can also do that. And then here we're just a bit too far up, unfortunately, for the plate. But it's not that bad to greed like this. Like this is not a horrible play. It's not great, but we got gold on ourselves and we got the Hullbreaker, so this is not that bad of a decision overall. And then at this point, since we have our Hullbreaker, we want to pressure the mid lane when they go for the dragon. We can help the dragon if our team's there, but we also want to pressure mid lane and make them have to try to come to us so that we can pressure the first turret.
Okay.
Okay, so it looks like you're trading objectives because your Master Yi is going drag. So what you should do here is push mid as fast as possible. Like, yes, really fast. And you should just try to go for the turret because your flash is going to be up too. So you can flash to the left side because your team's there, you know? So even if they catch you, they won't be able to kill you because your team will be there.
Yeah. Right.
And you need to, so you should be going turret right now. You should, what you do, this is good. You can just greed the turret. It's perfectly fine because your teammates are there to protect you. So this is great. Honestly, like your macro is very good from your Wukong game too. This is good too. You should ignite a little earlier, but like overall it's good. You're giving your teammate the. Okay, I think one thing is you need to switch your ult faster. You know what I mean? Like you need to switch from range form to melee form and melee form to range form faster, because you could be getting a lot more damage if you're just doing it quicker. So we just need to be a bit quicker on it. And then also when you're farming the turret, you can click your second ability in range form and then go to your melee form, because it'll give you fast melee auto attacks as well.
Oh, okay.
So you weren't aware of that? Okay, cool. So yeah, that's going to be very helpful with the combo. Is whenever you go on someone, if you're going to jump on them, click your range form W first, because then you get just way more damage on them overall. And I think I'm going to try to share my screen with you after this, and I want to show you the combo if I can, but we'll see. So here we should just be shoving it in backing because there's no objectives and we're kind of low. You have a lot of gold, so you want to spend that gold, so you should just back up here. Staying here, again, remember the minion waves that we talked about earlier. There's no minion wave currently, it's pretty far away, so we should have already backed. But now that the minion wave's close, we need to kill it, and then we immediately back. So you should just be killing this wave really fast and then backing up. But instead, you get distracted and you go bot. So you're going to lose this tower now. And again, if we'd backed earlier, we'd be higher health. Also, you could use your first ability to clear the wave faster, because you waited a long time to do it, and you also didn't use your E. So make sure you're using your E way more when you use your first ability. A lot of times you're only using your first ability, but you should pretty much always combo it with your E if you can.
Okay.
Going for teleport. I'm not a big fan of teleport personally. I like stasis most games, but teleport's fine. If you're split pushing, it's okay. So
what I was thinking there is like, I try to split push, because I think we can win, so that's why I go like this.
Yeah, even with split pushing a lot, I think it's actually okay to still go stasis, because it lets you win on side lane a lot easier. And the TP is not always going to be super valuable, because you can just hold them on the lane with you, and you don't actually have to TP to the dragon or the baron. You just keep applying pressure on the side lane. So you should be going for the turret here. And again, remember when you auto and then you do your W, you should go to range form or melee form after, because you get the faster auto attacks. But it's good that you're matching Jax here, though you do lose to Jax in the 1v1 at this point, so it's going to be a little bit hard. But it's good to just poke him down like you were doing. You might as well back up a little bit, because he's bringing the minions to you, so you don't need to walk up too far, which is exactly what you do, so that's great. And then when you're split pushing, just so you're aware, Conquer is going to be much more valuable at this point in the game with the split pushing, because you can stack it up really fast with your second ability in range form, because you get a lot of auto attacks. So that's just going to help you win the 1v1s a lot easier, which is why Conquer is going to be better a lot of times if you decide you want to split push a lot in the game.
Oh, okay.
You just need to back up, yeah. And also, do you know that you gain mana if you auto attack in your melee form? Or
oh, I don't remember that.
Okay, so yeah. So if you're ever low mana, just auto attack in your melee form and you get some mana back. So that's good to know.
Now that I know.
Yep. Yeah, Jayce has a lot. Like, Jayce is, in my opinion, a really difficult champion. He's got a lot in his kit. And again, here you should just be switching faster to your melee form and just jump on the minions just to clear them faster. Like, you just don't switch quite enough. And you also should be backing here so that you can gain some health before you go for the dragon. But since your team kills them all, now you just need to split push as much as possible. And remember, when you have TP, you need to be on the opposite side of the objective. So you see how the dragon is spawning right now? You should be bottom side, because your team is going to be top side fighting the dragon, so you can split push the other side of the map.
Okay.
And you should just use your W to farm, you know, like you can just farm a lot faster that way. But here we're gonna get the turret, which is good. And you could also have switched to the range form. So you need to be backing off now that you see them, because you know they just respawn, so there's no reason to keep walking forward. Once you get the turret, you need to just be like, okay, now I'm gonna leave, and you leave here, so that's good. And again, now Baron is probably the next thing that's going to spawn, so you want to come back to the top side of the map so that you can pressure this while Baron is spawning.
Okay.
Also, in this game, Mercury Treads would probably be decent, because they have Brand, but and they have Jax and everything, so I don't know if you have Mercury Treads or Ionian boots, but you kind of waste your TP here. When your team is... Okay, so I'll go back and just kind of talk about that. So first of all, you don't look here. You know, you can scroll your map so you can see what's going on rather than just looking at the map. You never looked here, so you didn't actually know what's going on. When you're deciding to TP, you need to be very aware of what's actually happening there. And then your team ends up winning this fight, which we're going to see you're going to TP there, and the fight's actually fine, which if you looked here, you would know that it's fine. So you're not needed here, and you could have continued to pressure the top side of the map while your team traded evenly in that other fight. But now you wasted your teleport, you're not applying pressure by split pushing, which is your job in this game, and you just kind of didn't get much value at all. So
yeah, you're right.
And this is good. You get, oh, okay. See, again, we didn't need to actually flash here. So also you did bring the brand ult to your teammate, but you don't need to flash so much. So again, I'm just going to go back. I apologize for going back sometimes, but I just want to talk through these things because they're pretty important. So here we don't need to be going, like you could have jumped on him. Like you were in range to just straight up jump on him. You didn't even need to flash. But the way to make it easier to catch people with your first ability in melee form is to use your third ability on your ranged form, because if you walk through it, you know it gives you movement speed, right? So if you get the movement speed, then you can catch people out. That's why the combo is going to be in your ranged form, do your first ability and third ability together, and then you run through it to get your movement speed, and then you catch them with your first ability in melee form.
Oh, okay.
So we go through here. Your team is winning a lot of fights even without you. So again, when you see how well your team is doing and you're not doing super well, what you want to usually do is end up split pushing and applying pressure on other parts of the map, because you know your teammates are doing pretty well anyways. But again, you're going to another fight here where again we see the Baron is spawning. What does that mean? Where should you be right now when the Baron is spawning?
Go to the other side.
Yeah. Now here it's not bad. Like you end up getting a kill here. So that's pretty helpful. Like this is good by you, but we should be on the top side of the map, and that should be what we're typically thinking. Is their jungler? Their jungler is not dead, so this is kind of risky. I don't really think you should be doing this Baron when their jungler is dead, because you only have 3 people alive. So this is just way too aggressive, and you guys should just leave. Like you should already just leave. You shouldn't be going in. Just get out. And again, you should go to the top side. But we waste time split pushing, and now we die. So again, what I was telling you, if you're on the top side of the map, you'd already be at this turret, and you'd probably already take this turret. And they can't possibly do Baron because you'd be pressuring the inhibitor. So if they went for Baron, you'd get a free inhib.
Yeah, got it.
And then, yeah, this is probably going to be the turning point of the game since we lose the Baron here. So that's pretty unfortunate.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a macro there. Yeah.
Yeah, all good. But yeah, just be very aware when you buy Hullbreaker, especially when you have teleport, that's when you're just almost always going to want to be going on the opposite side of the map of wherever the objective is. So. Okay, so yeah, now here we kind of just have to sit with our team because there's not much to do. We need to defend the turret now that they have Baron, but I'm assuming that we're probably going to lose off this. So again, I would go bot side at this point to clear out the bot wave after we get this mid wave. But yeah, it's pretty hard at this point. It's going to be pretty difficult to win at the, I'm guessing we're going to lose pretty soon. The video is what, 4 more minutes, so. Did you play this game last night, or when did you?
I forgot, a couple days ago.
It was a couple days ago. Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah.
No, but honestly, like I'm in general, like your Wukong game and this game, like your overall macro and your decision making is really good. It's like these couple small things that I would expect a lot more mistakes from Diamond players, but like overall, the way you play, I think is actually just really good. I just think if we get these few things like worked out, you'll climb a lot, to be honest.
Yeah.
So again, I think it's good that you're going up here because the dragon, we see it spawning in 20 seconds. So this is exactly when we want to be pushing the wave so that it's going close to their tower right when the dragon's about to spawn. You know what I mean?
Yeah, got it.
So yeah, you should ignore your team here. You should not teleport to them. You should just go for the turret. You see them distracted. Yes, see, you should be walking forward here and just going for the turret. Now, obviously, you're probably going to lose because they might just end, but you kind of have to take that risk at this point because you know it's really hard to win. So the only way we're going to win is getting a lucky split push like this, you know? So also,
that's a winning. That's a winning condition.
Yeah, that's the win condition. Exactly. Just like, yeah, we talked about earlier, for sure. That's the win condition. So you have to play towards that win condition, which is just split pushing because like that Jackson, that video that I had about the win conditions, That's the only way that you're possibly going to win at this point. So it's good that you keep going for the inhib. It's very likely that they kill you, but it doesn't matter because this is the only possible way that you could win. So you could have just stayed on the turret and tried to just get the inhib and just died for it, but getting out is not a bad thing either. It's perfectly fine, like what you did here. And then a small thing about your build, they have an Aatrox and a Jax. So Mortal Reminder is going to be much better than Cyril this year because we need the anti-healing. So.
Okay.
Oh, you did it. Let's go. You bought Mortal Reminder.
Yeah.
Awesome. Love to see it. So now you should go topside because the Baron, perfect. This is, again, good decision making. We made the one mistake earlier with the Baron where you went to the Baron instead of going, but then you changed your decisions and now you've been going for the split pushes. And so here it's fine to TP like this, but you should back up now and go back to the top side of the map because, again, you want to be on the opposite side of the objective. So you shouldn't be staying here. Now you could clear this wave, it's okay, but after you get this wave, you should definitely be going to the top side now because, again, the Baron is spawning, so. And then you could switch your melee form here to clear the wave and you would clear it way faster. It would have been cleared like 5 seconds ago had you done that. And then here is the mistake. We're still going top, or still going bot. We need to be top already, so we're just wasting too much time now, not being on the opposite side of the objective again. And I just want to note, when you're building a Hullbreaker, if you get really strong, it's okay to be doing what you're doing and split pushing near your team. But when we're losing and when we're not super strong, that's when we want to be on the opposite side of our team. So if you think that you're really strong and you can help win fights, then you can do what you're doing now and be with your team and everything. It's just when you're not as strong and when your win condition is just a split pushing, that's when you want to be on the opposite side. So you see how much value your Tryndamere gets here? Because he's doing what you should be doing. But you have Hullbreaker and Demolish, so you would kill it way faster. So however fast he kills this, you would have killed it 5 seconds earlier. You probably would have gotten this inhib, but instead I'm guessing your Tryndamere doesn't even get it, and you probably also end up losing the game. Maybe he does get it, but yeah, see, if this was you, it would be dead. But instead, he does still kill it, but oh, he makes it out. Okay, that's good. That is good. But again, you would have done it even faster. But it does look like we end up losing here, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
So yeah, do you want me to share my screen and show you some of the combos, or?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, because I want to go through a few things with Jayce now that I kind of watched you play, and then after that I can write out a little note and send it to you of what.
Thank you.
Of what you could have like done better, just to talk about it, to have it in writing. But just give me 1 second, and I will show you my screen.
And now that I know, so how to speed push now? Yeah.
You'll be pushing?
Yeah, I mean speed push. Now,
yeah.
Now that I know,
But again, remember, you don't always have to go for the split push build. Like, they were very squishy in that game. When they're that squishy, you don't even need Hullbreaker. You could have gone Youmuu's Ghostblade first instead. So you didn't even need to go Hullbreaker. But when you do go Hullbreaker, you should play it like I was talking about with the going on the side lanes. So do you see my screen right now?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, cool. So I'm just going to go into a practice game with Jayce, and I just want to show the basic combos so we can. Well, I don't know if they're basic. Jayce has a lot of combos, but then yeah, this is like the build I go most often. Is the build at the top here. But I still go Hullbreaker. I usually won't go Hullbreaker first item. I'll usually go at second instead of Cleaver if I decide I want to split push. But if they're all really tanky and like a lot of bruisers, then I will go for Hullbreaker first.
Okay.
But yeah, it's getting nerfed. That's kind of unfortunate. Hullbreaker's a fun item.
So it shouldn't be the first item, I think, after Lurf.
Usually it should be second, yeah. But there are times where it should be first, and that's typically just going to be whenever they have a really good ganking champion, because then you're a lot tankier when you get ganked. So if they have like a Vi, it's really good to go for a Hullbreaker first item. Okay, so I'm just going to show you the basic combo here. I'm going to do it on a minion. So I'll do it slowly and then I'll explain it like everything. So first you do your first ability plus third ability together, right? Then you walk forward because you use the movement speed. You can auto attack and then click your W because you know it's an auto reset, right? So okay, so now after you do auto W, jump onto them like that. So I'll go a little slower. So after I use my W, I jump and then I click my W while I'm jumping. I auto attack. and then I E immediately, and then I can auto attack again. So if I have my W, you can see here, it goes really fast with my melee form. And so that means if I go to my melee form, I can auto, E auto, and you see how when he's going back, I hit the auto attack still? Like, did you see how I got 2 autos here?
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, like that. You can get 2 autos. And so you have to get, like, you have to literally go to practice tool and just keep doing this. Like, just keep do this, auto attack this, jump, boom. Like, you just have to be able to do that really fast. And it's going to take time. But if you really want to get good at Jayce, you have to practice stuff like that. And then again,
I see.
You know you can click your Q twice to make it go. Like to make your E go out, you just click Q twice.
I don't know that.
Okay, yeah. So you don't even have to click your E. If you use your Q and then you Q again, it will put your E out for you. So just do it like that, and it's way faster and easier to do.
Oh.
And then the last important kind of combo to know is to be able to flash well. So you need to be able to Q, flash, and then Q as soon as you flash again, and then you do it like that, and it increases the range on that. You see that? Like that, really fast?
Yeah.
So what I want you to do in practice tool, if you do want to get good at Jayce, practice this combo, practice this combo where you do here, and you do that, then get the auto attack off. And then also when you're pushing turrets, for example, I'm going to make myself invincible so that I can walk at it. So make sure you auto attack, reset it, then go melee auto attack it, because you see how it's faster. So if I'm melee auto attacking, it's a lot faster and it does more damage. So, but you want to make sure you use the auto reset. So you auto W, so it's a really fast auto. Then you go here and auto again 2 more times. So does that all make sense, or do you want me to go through anything?
Yeah, I think that's good. So I need a lot.
It's like Jayce is a hard champion. He's going to take some time to learn, and if you want other champs, again, your Wukong was really good, and we can go again. We'll go through more games whenever you want it. You said like we can have another hour at some point, whenever, and we can go through more stuff.
Sure.
So just for Jayce, like this is if you do decide you want to get good at Jayce, it's going to have to do all that type of stuff, which is quite difficult to be honest. But overall, and then the macro thing with the split pushing. Why don't I write it out for you here? I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to make a quick note with you about this is for someone else that I was coaching. But I'm gonna make a new note here. So we'll just do Jayce, and then we're just gonna talk through some of the things that we kind of talked about that we should improve on. So again, you see my screen right with the Jayce mid where it says that?
I do.
Cool. Okay, so initially, first thing, split push. Actually, let's go through the early game first, because that's what we were talking about first. Do you have enough time, or do you want me to, like, do you want me to just write it out on my own? Because if you don't have enough time, I'll write it out on my own, and that's fine. But
no worry. Yeah, I can stay.
Okay. Yeah. So the early game initially, electrocute. Remember, we only take into really squishy comps, and then conqueror when we want to split push. Conk when we want to split, because it helps us with the 1v1s a lot more.
Yeah.
So then when we did the cheese, remember, like, how would I, if I write out like just cheese, would you understand what I mean? Like level 1 cheese? Or whatever?
Yeah.
So level 1
I'm
cheese.
I'm still doing that.
Yeah, level 1 cheese.
That one is fun. Yeah,
only into weak early game.
Yeah.
And before minions come. So like
before minions come.
Yeah, you don't want to do it once you're on top of the minions, unless you're into like a Veigar. Like if into Veigar, you can win it. Okay, and so what I want you to do if you do play more Jayce is you can test this and then learn what champions it works against. So Veigar will work against a couple other, like Orianna, it kind of works against. You can do it against these few champions where it will work because they're really weak early game, but most champions it's not going to work against.
Okay.
And then into squishy, into range mid. Hit push wave level 1 as fast as possible
and poke them down.
As possible to get level 2. Then poke with QE. Does that will you understand what if I type QE?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm just making sure because I don't always know what makes sense to other people. So I want to write it out in the way that you'll understand. So yeah, when you're into those range mid laners, you push the wave, literally instantly hit it as soon as it comes to lane. So you get level 2 before them, and then you get a free QE every single time, and the wave will come back to mid because you will push it under tower before the next wave comes.
Yeah.
And don't use your Q to push it, just auto attack it to push. That's all. You can just auto attack. And that'll be enough. Okay. So that was most of the early game. I think that's mostly the early game stuff. We talked about the combos, and I'm gonna upload this to YouTube so you can rewatch like the combo part if you need to understand that better.
Yeah.
So then we'll start talking about split pushing. So split push, opposite side of objective.
Yeah.
Does that make sense, or do you want me to write it a different way?
Yeah, that's good.
Cool.
So it's stronger, we stay on the other side.
Yeah. And then when we are strong, then we can group. So
yeah.
But we still need to keep in mind, say that you think you're still going to lose the fight, even if you're really strong, that's when you just split push and you just try to draw multiple people and like 1v2 them, right? But if you think that you being at the team fight will make you win it when you would lose it otherwise, that's when you want to just be with the team fight. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Do you want me to write that out, or do you kind of already understand that?
No, I can remember it. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so
I think most of the time is go the other side. So
yeah.
That's the answer.
If you're going hull breaker. If you're not going hull breaker, then you want to be with your team a lot. So into squishy comps. Into squishy comps. Don't go hull breaker. Basically. Breaker, unless your top laner is bad at splitting. Does that make sense as well? Because like if you have a Malphite, then you want to split pusher, so going Jayce with Hullbreaker is good. But if you have a Tryndamere or a Jax, you don't want to be building Hullbreaker because they're already going to go split push. So you'd rather be helping your team in team fights and poking them down.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. And then what else did we talk about that's important? Switch between forms. Does forms make sense for like your ultimate or no?
Yeah.
Okay, switch between forms.
Make the combo faster.
Yeah, faster. You need to practice this again if you want to play Jayce, which is totally cool if you don't want to play this champ. But like you said, you were kind of learning him, so we're gonna need to really get good at clicking that stuff really fast. Like this is all that Jayce is about, is switching as fast as possible, getting the damage out as quick as possible. Like if you ever watch me play Jayce, like I'm trying very hard to like as fast as possible just one-shot people. Like you'll see sometimes I'll be a bit strong. I can literally one-shot someone if I'm able to do the full combo off like really fast. Like it's insane how much burst damage he has. So. And then the last thing I just want to say is just limit test. So this is kind of obvious, but when you're learning this champ, you need to try everything that you think might work. So if you think you can one-shot someone, try it. Even if you fail, it will be better in the long term because you need to be able to learn everything about this champ and how it works, because he's like a really high skill champ, and if you're not able to understand how the matchups work and how he interacts with the champs, it's going to be really hard to get a lot of value out of him. So
yeah, you're right.
Okay, so I think that's most of what we talked about. Again, your gameplay is actually really good. I'm surprised it's just a few small things go wrong, and that's usually what ends up happening in your games. Where like the one time we forced the Baron, when if we just kept split pushing, it probably would have been fine. And then if your mechanics on Jayce just get a bit cleaner, we should be good, I think. So yeah, I think that's probably it, unless you have any more questions.
Mid lane is very hard. Sometimes it's very hard to guess like where is the jungler is, you know.
Yeah, jungle is another thing. So remember that one time when I told you to freeze and you wanted to push for the turret?
Yeah.
So you want to be freeze when you don't know where jungler is.
Yeah, right.
Push if you think it's safe, really. So
yeah.
And then again, actually, I do have kind of another thing. So you remember when in the jungle, when I was coaching you in jungle, I talked about thinking about the gold rather than the kills?
Yeah.
So this same thing applies in mid lane, but in a different way. Especially when you're Hullbreaker, but even if you're not going Hullbreaker, you kill turrets very fast. So if you get 2 turret plates, that's 300 gold. So if you die for 2 turret plates, that's essentially even. You do lose some XP, they get more XP than you, but you get the wave under the tower, meaning that the enemy loses those minions, and you get 300 gold. So if you think their jungler may be somewhat close, but you think you can die for 2 turret plates, that's usually not a bad idea, because as Jayce, you want to get a lot of gold on yourself. So it's okay. All right, it's okay to die for turret plates.
Yeah.
If you won't lose like your turrets. You know what I mean? Like if you think that they're going to be able to push turret right after, then that's when it's bad. But it's okay to die for the turret plates as long as you don't do it before an objective. You know what I mean? But if there's no objective spawning or anything like that, so
turret plate is like 150, right?
yeah. So 2 turret plates is 300,
Oh,
and as Jayce, you can kill turret plates really
like
fast. So
I thought the first one is just like 75.
no, they're all 150. You probably because you were by a teammate, so it gives 75 to each. Probably why you thought that, but
Oh, if you get it by it's only on your own, then you will get 150.
Yeah. And then I keep thinking of more things to talk about because I learned a lot from playing so much Jayce. So again, if it's ever too much, stop me. But there's one more thing that I think is really important. And again, with the Wukong, we were talking a lot about win conditions, which I think is great. And Jayce is a champion. He's not got a lot of CC. He's not super tanky. All of his value comes from damage, right? It's like a fizz, you know? You fizz, you have to be able to deal damage to people. That you have to all in and be able to deal a lot of damage. So what this means is you need to always be thinking about gold on Jayce because you need gold to deal damage and your only value comes from dealing damage. So regardless of what's going on with your team, always value your own gold more than other stuff. For Jayce.
Okay. So I think, because I'm a jungler, you know that, right?
Yeah.
So I think these apply to the classics as well.
For sure. And I mean, you can even play Jayce jungle. Like it's good in jungle. So if you ever want to, you can do that too.
Yeah, we'll try. Okay.
So I think this is a lot of good stuff to work on. Again, if you want to play mid lane, but a lot of this stuff applies to top lane too, especially with the split pushing. So if you're ever playing top lane and then jungle, the stuff with the gold and all that is still going to be very valuable as well for you. So, and then the Jayce combos as well. So yeah.
Always think about the gold. Okay, I got it. Okay, I try.
Okay, so I think that's probably it, unless you have more questions.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Pretty fun. So I'll see you later. I hope you're able to use this in some of your games.
Okay, thank you. See you next time. Thank you.
Okay, guys, that's going to be it for the video. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you thought about this longer format, and if you like me kind of posting this much of the coaching session. Again, with this guy, I've ended up doing 2 30-minute sessions with him, 2 38-minute roughly sessions, and then I'm going to do 2 more sessions about 30 minutes to an hour with him. Normally, when I coach someone, it's just a straight hour, but for him, he wanted to do some smaller sessions, so that's why it's just kind of in this format. So again, if you guys are interested in coaching, just simply message me on Discord or join the Discord in the link description, anything like that. And I'll see you guys later.